Hello everyone and welcome back to my course Microsoft 365 Security Administrator MS500. We are in section 5 of the course, and in this lesson we are going to discuss how to manage safe links. And more specifically, I'm going to show you how to create safe links policies. I'm going to show you how to create safe link policies with PowerShell, modifying an existing safe link policy, creating a transport rule to bypass a safe links policy, and of course about the end user experience with safe links. So before you can create or manage safe links policies, you need to be assigned the appropriate permissions, as with safe attachments that we've discussed in the previous lesson. Now, in this case, you must be a member of the organization management or hygiene management role groups. Of course, you will find links to further information in regards to these roles groups in the downloadable resources for this lesson. Now, if you recall, an organization that has ATP enabled in its tenant will have a default safe links policy automatically created that applies to everyone in the entire organization. While the default policy cannot be deleted, it can be edited. So this topic basically introduces you to the steps that are required to create additional safe links policies which can be applied to specific groups, let's say. So later in the lesson we will examine how to modify the default links policy that is applied to the entire organization. So that being said, let's hop on directly to the Security and Compliance Center to show you how to create safe links, and of course we'll discuss about the options while we go through about creating the policy. Again, here in the Security and Compliance Center, we will need to expand the Threat Management tab, click on Policies, and click on ATP Safe Links. So now we are taken to the Safe Links policy. As you can see, we have the default policy that is selected and highlighted here, and then at the bottom of the page here, we can create additional Safe Links policies. Now, in order to do that, let's click on the plus sign over here, open this, drag the window in the middle, and let's give our safe links a name. Let's call it again test safe links policy, test description, and now let's talk about the options a little bit. So under the select the action for unknown potentially malicious URLs in messages, let's select on so that all URLs will be rewritten and checked in the if there are any URLs in the messages. Now, on the use safe attachments to scan downloadable content to enable URL detonation, basically this is to enable URL detonation and to scan files that are hosted on websites. For example, if an email contains a link such as http://contoso.com/maliciousfile.pdf. Now, the .pdf file is opened in a separate hypervisor environment, and if the file is found to be malicious, users will see a warning page if they click the link, right? So now let's click on this. Then we get again. Let's click on apply real-time URL scanning for suspicious links that point to files, and we have the option to, of course, wait for the URL scanning to complete before delivering the message, or just deliver the message with the URL scanning not completed yet. Now, again, we have another option to apply safe links to email messages within the organization, and this basically will apply the safe links, this safe links policy, to internal messages as well. I don't want to do that at this moment, and of course there is the option to do not track when user clicks safe links. So this should not be clicked, because basically you want to be able to track and monitor when your users click links that are determined to be malicious. And last but not least, do not let users click through safe links to original URL, and this option should be enabled because this basically prevents the users from proceeding to the target website if it is found to be malicious. Now, let's say if the users receive links from websites that are known to be safe, right? In that case, you can enter those websites under the list here, under the do not rewrite the following URLs list over here. So for example, you might add a URL to a partner website if users frequently receive emails from that partner website that includes URLs to the external organization's site, let's say, right? And you would mention that over here. Now, the next thing we need to do is basically select who this safe link policy will apply to, and you have again, as with the safe attachments, the recipient is, the recipient's domain is, and the recipient is a member of. And if we click on the recipient is a member of, let's just try to see if we can find any kind of group here. I'm not sure if this will be visible over here because they're not, no, they won't. So basically we will select the recipient domain is, and let's select the ms500course.onmicrosoft.com, and basically this will apply this safe links policy to everyone in my free trial tenant at the moment. Of course, if you would need to add exceptions, you would add them here. Again, as with the safe attachments policies, you can specify an exception if for one particular recipient, for a particular domain, or if the recipient is a member of a group. I'm not going to do that for demonstration purposes. I'm just going to click Save on this safe links policy, and there you go. We have our test safe links policies enabled and working with the settings that we've configured. So now let's get back to the slide and discuss about creating safe links using Powershell. Again, as with the safe attachments, Windows Powershell can also be used to configure safe link rules and policies. In the table in the slide here, you have basically listed the commandlets you can use to create and manage safe link rules and safe link policies. So for safe links rules, basically a rule defines the conditions and the policy defines the action to take after the conditions are met. Exactly the same as with the safe attachments. This is similar to the Windows Powershell commandlets used to manage safe attachments, and to understand this with respect to the method we've discussed in the previous topic, the conditions and exceptions make up the rule that becomes part of the policy. And the policy dictates actions such as block, replace, and it also dictates the redirect settings. Again, rules can be changed independently of the policy to which they belong. Now, to actually create a safe link, policy, you would use the new safe links policy commandlet, and you have an example here listed in the slides. And to create a new safe links rule using Windows PowerShell, you would use again the new safe links rule commandlet with the appropriate parameters. And again, you have an example over here in the slides. Now, let's talk about modifying a safe links policy, and basically let's hop over back to the admin portal to see how we would modify, in our case, the default safe links policy. So to modify the safe links policy, in our case, I'm going to demonstrate this with the default safe links policy. We would just select the policy and click the edit button over here. And as you can see, this takes us actually to the actual policies which can actually be modified. Now, again, you can change any modification here that you want, and in our case, let's say we want to for the location selected above, and those are Office 365 applications. Let's say we do want to track when user click safe links, and that's the setting, let's say, that we've amended. We would just click on save, and there we go. The policy will be modified. And of course, you can do that with any kind of safe links policy, either the default one or the ones that you customly create. Getting on to our next topic, we will stay here in the portal, and I'm going to show you how to create a transport rule to actually bypass the safe links policy. It's done exactly the same as with safe attachments. So let me open up Exchange Admin Center over here. And on Exchange Admin Center, let's click on Mailflow rules. We still have the test safe attachments bypass policy. Let's create another rule and click on create new rule over here. Let's call this one test SF for safe SL, sorry, for safe links bypass. Oops, bypass. Okay. And now let's apply this rule basically if the sender is located inside the organization, exactly like with the safe attachment one. So the sender is located inside the organization, and again, click on more options to enable our option that we are interested in. And on the do the following, let's select now the do the following and modify the message properties again as with the safe attachments policies. And I want to modify the message properties, and basically I want to set a message header, right? Here, set the message for header and click on enter text. I'm going to again copy and paste the value over here. Click on OK. So that is XMS Exchange Organization skip safe links policy, and then we'll have to click on the other enter text over here and just put in a space or anything you might want. Click OK. Then again, here we go. You have several other options that you can configure depending on the needs of the bypass rule, let's say. But for our demonstration purposes, that would be enough. We would click on save, and there we go. We have now a rule in place that bypasses safe links for internal messages sent by our internal users. That being said, let's hop over back to the slides and discuss about the end user experience with safe links. So when a user clicks a link in an email and the target website is subsequently identified as malicious, the safe link policy, the safe link process automatically warns the user. At a high level, here's how the safe link works in email. So someone sends a user an email message containing a URL to a website, right? The message flows through the anti-malware pipeline, and assuming it passes through all the initial checks, it eventually arrives in the recipient's inbox. The user opens the message and clicks on the link. When the user clicks on the link, the URL is redirected to a secure server that checks the URL against a block list of known malicious websites. If the link is safe, the user's browser navigates to the target website. If the link is malicious, the user's browser displays a warning message. Now, consider the following scenario when a user receives a message from an external sender that contains a URL to www.spamlink.contoso.com and another one to www.bing.com. Now, the user clicks the first link, which, unknown to the user, is a phishing link that has previously been identified by the service as malicious. The organization's safe link policy detects the link and redirects the user to that link to the secure server in Microsoft 365 where it is found to be malicious. The user subsequently is redirected to a protective shell, which alerts the user about the classification of the URL. Now, and that is the graphic here on the slide. The policy is also selective enough to remove only the malicious link. So when the user clicks the link to bing.com, the user is successfully able to navigate to bing.com, basically being redirected to the bing.com site. Now, the sample web page above that we've discussed includes the option to continue to this website if you take a look at the picture here on the slide. This indicates basically that the administrator who created the policy selected the option to let the users click through the original URL, that option that we have enabled when we created our safe links policy. So had the administrator not selected this option, like we did, the text would not have appeared on the page and the website would just been blocked and the user would have not been able to go on to the original website. Now, let's talk about the URL detonation and end user experience. So if you recall, URL detonation combines elements of safe links and safe attachments into a single feature to protect users in the event of a URL points to a malicious file on a website. When you click the link, the file is downloaded into the Safe Attachment Sandbox environment and detonated just like an attachment. During this process, the recipient is redirected to a warning page, exactly like the one in the bottom right-hand side of the screen here in our slides, right? And basically, this warning lets the user know that the file is being scanned. If the file is ultimately determined to be malicious, the user is redirected to a warning page like the one in the upper left-hand side here, and basically advises the user that the site is malicious. And that is how the end user experience looks like for safe links for a Office 365 ATP safe links. So this concludes our lesson, guys. I will see you in the next one from this section, in which we'll discuss about Azure Advanced Threat Protection. And of course, I hope this has been informative for you, and thank you for viewing.